10 uncomfortable truths about retirement. Hey folks, if you're new to the channel, my name's Joe. I'm 58. I've been retired for 4 years. You know, I'm a little bit different than some of the other folks on YouTube. I'm talking about my personal story, my personal experience. I take in a lot of information, and there's a lot out there, and I absorb that and then take action on it. And then I share that with you. So I'm not a subject matter expert as like some financial advisors are. I'm not selling assets under management. Please, I don't want any part of that. I'm not a financial advisor. But I am sharing my story to help, put a little light on the path for those of you that are thinking about early retirement and what it's going to be like for you. So hopefully you value that. Give me a like and subscribe if you do. So let's get started. 10 uncomfortable truths in retirement. No particular order, okay? Number 1, it's much easier to be confident in your investments, in your money situation before you're retired. I can't tell you how many discussions I get in with people about, they're like, all you got to do is, do nothing in a down market. It's very easy to do. Everybody knows that your dollar cost averaging in at a lower price. It's great. It's great. Hey, folks, when you're retired, it's a completely different situation. You're dependent on the rates of return from your investments to pay your lifestyle for the next 30 years. The stress and importance is completely different. Your conservatism will get stronger, so you'll get a little more conservative in your investments just because being wrong is a much bigger deal than when you were working. So many people underestimate this. I'll get into an argument with an individual, and I find out they're 10 years from retirement or 5 years from retirement, and then I kind of laugh and said, just wait. So Joe's coming with some experience here. Number 2, experts are wrong about the market direction and projections. You know that these people on TV, they're just clowns. They're just guessing. They're trying to keep you interested and tuning in. And, these experts, they're trying to be the next guru. You put out 100 predictions, you're going to be right on a couple of them, and then you're the next guru that everybody quotes in the future. So don't get involved in the drama. Invest for the long term. Let everybody predict whatever. It's going to be a recession. It's going to be bad. The whole world's going to collapse. I just don't pay attention to it. Number 3, uncomfortable truths. Bear market events will greatly stress you in retirement if you don't have a good plan. You're going to have 5 to 6, maybe 7 bear markets in retirement. No one gets average returns. You don't get 7% average return, and these bear markets can last years, peak to peak. So from a high to all the way through the trough up to a new high could be a long time. Looking at the last 10 bear markets, excluding COVID, the one that lasted 3 months or so, and excluding the current one we're in here in early 2023, the average is 30.6 years. That's average of 10. The Great Recession around 2007 was 5.5 years. The dot-com was 7.2 years peak to peak. And 7 of the 10 of those were under 4 years or under. 7 of the 10 were 4 years and under. So what do? I've said this before. I use a bucket approach. I have 4 years out of the stock market. That can be in bonds, that can be in CDs, that can be in cash, money markets, things that aren't linked to stock value. 4 years. That's why I do it. It's not going to cover everything, but it's not, it's kind of a balance of getting decent return on most of my assets, but knowing that I'm not going to have to sell during a down market. So bear markets happen. You better be planning for it. Don't just hope for your 30 years you're not going to have one. Number 4, massive recency bias exists in you and in me. That's, we remember the things that just happened, like the last 10, 12, 15 years. One example of that is U.S. stocks. The last 12 years. 12 years is my data here. The U.S. stock market returned 11.5%. let's exclude 2022. I believe in that data. So, but 11.5%. International has only returned 3.3%. To emerging markets, 0.7% during that same 12-year period. But if you zoom out, if you look at the last 50 years, it's about 50-50 of international beating U.S., okay? But the last 12 years, U.S. has just kicked butt. Current PE ratios, price to earnings ratios, and this is what I found, easy search. The U.S. is around 20, price to earnings ratio. Global ex-U.S. Is around 13. That's a 40% discount. They're priced to what they're earning. So it's a big sale. I can't say what the next 10 years are going to be like, but I can tell looking at the value, the ex-US looks pretty good. It looks pretty good. I have about 17% international, and I've been getting my butt kicked the last 10 years. But zooming out, it makes sense to me. Diversify is my message there. Diversify. Make sure that you're not being fooled by chasing returns and a recency bias. I think that is happening. That's Joe's opinion. Number 5, going it alone is a mistake. Guys, you're putting together your financial plan in the bunker, in your basement, all on your own, with your own biases, your own propensity to have an error. You got to have a friend that intimate sharing of your plan. You got to have a group. I'm giving you examples of what to do. Have a close friend do this. Have a group of friends where you get together and you study each other's plan. Go to a fee-only advisor. Hire a financial advisor. Get a comprehensive software package like New Retirement. It's a link below to help you look for holes and fault lines inside of your plan. I'm telling you, I talk to 3, 4, sometimes 5 people a week, wanting me just to kind of look for obvious problems in their plan. And I always find 2 to 3 pretty big things that the person didn't find. And that's not because they're stupid. These actually are people that are spent hours and hours on this, brilliant people, but you don't know the errors that are in your own plan. I use the analogy of you writing an essay. Hey, you write a 500-word essay, you proofread it 5 times, and then you hand it to your spouse and have them proofread it. They find 5 errors. Okay? Guys, you can't see these problems. I can't see them. That's why I have a close group of people that I intimately share my plan. I use New Retirement, and I have a free financial advisor that I use to really stress test my plan. So going it alone, folks, I think that's a major mistake. Number 6, your plan is wrong. It's the planning that adds value. You've got to know the levers and the inputs to your plan. So when things go wrong, life happens. Like inflation's higher than you expected, returns aren't what you expected, your health is not what you expected. You know what levers you can pull to still, have a good, effective plan going forward. So I guarantee it's going to be wrong. You need to stress test it. It's nice to stress test it with a couple friends, a financial advisor, software package like New Retirement. But it's going to be wrong. You're not going to have the perfect plan. Number 7, uncomfortable truth. Manage your money in retirement takes time. Okay, guys? Consider it a job. Me, I do it quarterly. You can use a financial advisor. But, think about using an asset under management financial advisor on $1 million, 1%. Okay? That's $10,000 a year that compounds. $10,000 a year doesn't sound like a lot on $1 million, but when you compound that, that's 10,000 divided by 12 means $833 a month you're paying for that service. $833 a month, that starts to sound a little more expensive. Multiply that by 7% return times 30 years. Hopefully your retirement and my retirement be 30 years at least. That's $1.02 million. You're paying $1 million for that financial advice. Could be worth it. Could be worth it. Just know the sticker price, okay? Know the sticker price. Another way to look at it, and a guy named Mark pointed this out to me, he says a lot of people pull out 4% a year. They use the 4% rule. You're paying your financial advisor 1% under assets under management. You're paying them 25% of your money that you're pulling out each year. You're paying them 25%. It's just, it's expensive, but it could be a brilliant decision. And you're going to spend time on it in retirement. I consider it a little job. You know, if you're making $10,000 a year, that's a good part-time job, right? Doing assets under management yourself. Okay, number 8, sweating the small stuff makes little difference. I struggled a little bit with this one, but wanted to include it. I may have a special video on this in the future. I enjoy diving into cost. I got time. You know, I enjoy saving $10 here, $20 there. But $100 over here. You know, I change out the anode rod inside of my hot water heater, and I do different things like that. I close out my sprinkler system myself with an air compressor. You know, I get into arguments with people on, you know, should you have CDs versus T-bills, and should you lock in now? You know, I got 4.6%. No, I waited and I got 4.7, and here's a better bank to get that from, or you know, I like this website better, or this, you know, Fidelity. You know, I got a 13-week T-bill ladder. You know, those things are fun, but you got to if you get the big stuff right, this stuff really doesn't matter a lot. It's fun, but it doesn't matter a lot. Big stuff, you got to know your expenses, okay? You got to know and control them. You got to taxes. You got to do taxes right. That's why it's talked so much about software package new retirement. Taxes is something most people don't look at over the next 20 years. They look at here and now and just pay their taxes, whatever they're due, instead of strategically moving money around. Social Security timing, things like your IRMA, you know, your Medicare premiums that you have to pay, and income that triggers different premium amounts. Do those big stuff right, and that's 95% of it. Although the other, you know, sweating the small stuff is fun, it's not going to make or break your retirement. So that's number 8. Number 9, okay, uncomfortable truth. Relaxing on the beach for your entire retirement is a myth. You know, I love doing that a couple weeks a year, but it's just not reality for 99.9% of the people. People that are 4 or 5 years from retirement, 10 years from retirement, they dream about, I'm going to do nothing in retirement. Most people can't do that. You're going to lack a sense of fulfillment, self-worth. Boredom will hit you very, very hard, and it's dependent on you. You know, I tell people, start a new journey. Retirement is not a destination like the beach. It's the start of a new journey. What is your epic journey? Can be travel, can be starting a consulting business, can be writing a book, can be a hobby like woodworking, okay? But it's a new journey, not a destination. Don't believe the myth. You'll get bored and you'll want to go back to work. Start that new epic journey. Start thinking about it today. And number 10, you know, I like surprising you guys with some things here. Hey, number 10, uncomfortable truth. You better have a good relationship with your spouse. If you're married, I'm telling you, your social networks that you automatically have with your job, the people you talk to, go to lunch, talk about the ball game, whatever it happens to be, the economy, those social networks go down like 80%. And you're going to spend a lot of time with your spouse, a lot. So start nurturing that relationship. You know, mine's not perfect. My wife would tell you that. But you're going to spend a lot of time alone. Learn to get along with each other. Learn to respect each other. Learn to enjoy each other's company, because there's a lot of time together. When you're working, you think you spend a lot of time with your spouse, but I'm telling you, 10 hours a day, whether you're getting ready for work, commuting to work, at work, plus some of your mind is occupied even when you're home around work. that's going to go away. So you're going to spend a lot of time with your spouse. Work on that relationship. And I don't see that. I say this because I see a lot of people doing this wrong. And why not doing it wrong, but like surprised by this. They're surprised that their new best friend, they really don't know them that well because of raising the kids and life happens. So, hey, folks, those are my 10 uncomfortable surprises. Let me know in the comments where you're from. If you don't have anything to say, tell me where you're from. Let me know what you're surprised by with my uncomfortable truths. Was there anything that I said that surprised you? Anything you disagree with? Anything that has not been your experience? And I may make a video out of it. I will read that comment. So let me know. This is Joe out.